Hello there! You're listening to Pinoy MCU Fan, a Filipino podcast where I get to talk about everything and anything Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm your host, Jim. Hey, welcome back, everyone. So, this is our third episode. This is the Pinoy MCU Fans third episode. Yay! I am super proud of myself that I was able to create another episode for you guys and for myself too kasi this is a passion project of mine because again, we would not have the Pinoy MCU fan podcast without the MCU fan herself. That is me, Jim. I hope everyone's having a great year so far. Lalo na the first work week of the year this week, diba? I hope that you guys are doing good. I am not feeling good. I'm not that I'm sick, but I just feel sad because this weekend is Spider-Man No Way Home weekend, but then the cases here in the Philippines just keep rising and rising, so I had to eventually refund my ticket. Kasi I think the cases started going up. Not I think. It is because of that holiday season where everyone was able to go out a lot, and that was I was one of those people who went out a lot because I had to buy food, buy grocery for the New Year, for Christmas, ang mga Noche Buena, Medianoche. So I had to do groceries, and then I bought gifts for my family na hindi ko hindi ko mabibili online kasi syempre makikita nila pag dumating yung parcel. So ayun. So parang it makes sense for the cases to go up, and sadly naging alert level 3 na nga yung Pinas, lalo na dito sa Metro Manila and some parts of I think those provinces near Metro Manila, which is Laguna, and I think Baguio too. Um, yeah, so umabot ng 10K cases recently. Tapos ngayon, today, the day that I'm recording, umabot na siya ng 17K new daily cases of positive COVID-19 patients. So that's just, yeah, we all gotta take precautions. I do understand why I had to refund my ticket and not go anymore, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm super sad over it. Yeah, so don't worry, guys. This episode is definitely not going to be No Way Home at all. This is just my intro. But yeah, even if I did see No Way Home anytime soon, I'm not gonna make an episode about it agad-agad. Kasi of course, if you listened to my second episode, my previous episode, I did talk about avoiding No Way Home spoilers, and I took great lengths just to avoid spoilers. Tapos ito nangyari, I won't be able to see it in theaters anyway. Yeah, so that's just sad for me and my friends and my partner and my friends because we were all planning to watch No Way Home on the 8th. But then, yun nga, the cases just kept going up. So it's like super, super risky to even go out. Lalo na may Omicron variant. So everyone, please stay safe. If you have the chance to refund your ticket, please do. It's better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, and if you are going, please make sure that you're wearing long sleeve, para kunwari naka-PPE ka. Tapos you're wearing your mask all the time. Ah, nako, speaking of mask, oh my god, I was hoping to wear a Spidey mask outside when we're about to watch No Way Home, but then yun nga, we got a refund and not go anymore. But it's okay, I'll just try to find a way to watch it online. And yeah, I know you guys are thinking what I'm thinking, but yeah, I'm just gonna end the conversation right there. But when it comes to Netflix and Disney Plus, I think we're not gonna see No Way Home anytime soon on any streaming platform. What we could have, I guess, is actually rent out the movie on YouTube and Google and stuff like that. Pero on streaming platforms, sobrang magulo yung contract ng Sony, Disney, and Netflix. Yeah. So pati Netflix kasi I think I read somewhere, I did read about the contract between the three of them. But it's like, alam mo naman, guys, alam niyo naman when usapang Disney and Sony, sobrang magulo na yung buhay nila. So, I don't feel like explaining it to you guys. Because I read it myself and I did not understand shit. The only thing that I understood is that we're just not really gonna see Spider-Man No Way Home on any streaming platforms after 3 months or 6 months. It might actually take like a year or two, I feel like. So yeah, so it feels weird. It feels weird. They're like missing on a lot of money on this right now. Because if you're gonna think of it from a business perspective talaga, like a company or like a capitalist perspective, sobrang dami nilang perang nasasayang just because they didn't do the premiere on the same date, which I guess that's just understandable because COVID on planet right now. Pero yung streaming platform, oh my god. Like good luck to them. That's just a lot of money. It's gonna go down the drain. But anyway, it's not my money anyway. So we're as a fan, I'm still gonna find a way to watch No Way Home somehow and somewhere. Yeah. Or if the Philippine cinema theaters are gonna keep No Way Home until like June, July, August, like the third quarter of the year, then sure, I'm definitely gonna go out again just to watch No Way Home in the cinema. Kasi my friends who've seen it abroad already, they did say that it's super worth it to watch it in the theater, which is understandable because come on, it's Spider-Man No Way Home. Um, and yeah. Anyway, that's where I'm gonna end my Spider-Man No Way Home intro rant talk. But for this episode, I will be talking about podcasts. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about I will be talking about Marvel podcasts that I love listening to. Podcasts. Ang hirap i-pronounce, ang daming S. There's so many S's. Okay, so it's not these podcasts are under Marvel. So if you're like, yeah, even the Marvel like companies and company nila and like movie houses, I also read about those. And medyo magulo sila. Pero the easiest way to understand is that Marvel, yung mismong Marvel lang, Marvel is like the parent company. So they support everything. Basta Marvel, they support it. And yeah. Tapos, Marvel Entertainment is everything that is like, entertainment within Marvel. And then, Marvel Studios, ayun yung pagmamayari ni Disney. And that's where our Marvel Cinematic Universe lives. Ayun yung bahay nila. Doon sila nakatira sa Marvel Studios. So, anything na non-Marvel Studio na makikita nyo, it's not part of the MCU. But, I think, like, yung mga Netflix maraming may maraming shows din na walang Marvel Studios na name on their show, pero under sila ng MCU, that they operate under the MCU. And lalo na ngayon, if you guys have seen Hawkeye, nandun si Kingpin from Daredevil, and Daredevil is like a partnership between Marvel and Netflix. I just don't remember if it's like Marvel Entertainment or just Marvel itself. But like matagal naman na, like all this time we all do know that yung mga TV shows, yung mga non-Disney Plus yung mga TV shows na Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, yung mga sila, they are all within the MCU. Because if you guys have seen the movies, yung mga series and TV series, I mean, you're gonna see like a lot of references to the Avengers, to the thing that happened in New York. Because yung mga shows na yun is set in New York as well. So they obviously talked about the Avengers battle sa first Avengers movie. So yeah, tapos lalo na nakita na natin si Kingpin now. sa Hawkeye, that just means that, oh my god, they are finally, the MCU, Marvel Studios, is finally and actually um recognizing the TV shows now. So yun. Wala lang, I don't even know why I went off tangent. I'm so sorry everyone. But yeah. So yung mga podcast na to na I'm gonna share with you guys are under the Marvel, yung parang yeah, the Marvel company itself, Marvel. Um it's they're not necessarily talking about the MCU, pero since they're under Marvel, they're gonna talk about everything. It's really, really fun. And ito rin yung mga podcast na reason why I fell in love with podcasting. I mean, listening to podcasts. Kasi, if you've listened to my first episode where I got to introduce myself and talked about why I'm starting this podcast, kasi, ever since the pandemic, we're all like on our screens because we're working our asses off. We don't get to go out because so we're all just on our screens. And at first, like it was like okay for me, na parang yay, I'm on my screen the whole day. I'm working, and then I can just watch Marvel movies after this. Right after, I don't have to like take a commute. I don't have to drive home because I'm already home. During the pandemic, lockdowns and all that stuff. But then it got to a point that I'm so sick of like screens because it's the only thing that I've been looking at for the whole like 2 years. So I'm like, you know what? Let me start listening to podcasts. And then I'm super lucky. I'm not lucky, but like I'm super happy. I'm super happy that I found Marvel podcasts, and I'm super glad that I actually ended up liking them. Yeah, so I am super happy that I found these podcasts under the Marvel, under Marvel, that I actually ended up loving them and liking them so much that I listen to them. They're the reason why I started listening to other podcasts as well. So ayun, parang yung Marvel talaga yung like isa lang talaga nag-introduce sa akin for a bunch of like amazing stuff, and I'm super super grateful. And of course, listening to podcasts ended up with me making my own. Um, but yeah, so for today's episode, I will be sharing my three favorite Marvel podcasts. Podcasts. Um, yeah, and again, they're not necessarily within the MCU, but they talk a lot about the MCU as well. And through these podcasts, din ako natuto to learn more about the context on the actual MCU stuff, which is the Marvel comics, right? So it was really fun learning about the movie characters about what it's super fun to learn about the comic version, the original comic versions of the movie characters that we all grew up loving so much. So for like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Black Panther, there's this one episode with like Iron Man and Black Panther that I really like. So anyway, before I spoil anything, before I even start talking about them, so for my first podcast that I would definitely recommend to everyone who just wants to get updated. Kasi 'di ba, during the pandemic there's this like time that parang wala talaga tayong content. Wala tayong Marvel Cinematic Universe content. So for the first show that I'm gonna introduce and like recommend for you guys to listen to is called This Week in Marvel. Yeah, just like its title, it's gonna talk about Marvel every week. So para siyang newsy na podcast. They talk about everything Marvel kasi ang dami pala talaga nangyayari sa Marvel. Yung sa mga Marvel characters na paborito natin. They're still releasing new comic books every quarter, every month, every day, no, every month and every quarter. They talk about of course the movies, the TV shows, the comics, the games, and even collectible toy releases. So yun din yung mga so ayun din yung kino-cover nila sa This Week in Marvel. and it's hosted by two people, Ryan Agent M. Penagos and Lorraine Kink. Lorraine Sink, I'm sorry, not Kink. Her last name is Sink, Lorraine Sink, and also James Monroe. So actually, dalawa lang yung host nila dati, but now they have James Monroe um hosting along with them. Um, so aside from keeping everyone updated with the releases in the Marvel company, they also do interviews with actors, creators, writers, and even producers from the favorite Marvel releases. So it's very very entertaining kasi you're just not getting like news. So kapag fan ka talaga, this is the podcast that I recommend for you to listen to para lang, updated ka. Um, they also do interviews with actors. Yun yung paborito ko sa lahat is that they do interviews with actors. I think they did one of my favorite interviews is that they did an interview with the cast of Black Widow. Ayun, every MCU movie then they do interviews with actors and it's super fun. Um Yon, favorite ko sa mga aktor favorite ko yung interview nila with the Black Widow cast. Pero yung sa non-actor naman, ang fave ko is when they interview the song the producer, the director, I think. The director and the music producer for Loki, the TV series. Because I am absolutely obsessed with Loki. If you guys remember in my first episode, I talked about how much I love like time travel, multiverse, and like like just time. And Loki, especially the Loki soundtrack, absolutely loved it. I love it so much. The Loki theme is amazing, and hearing what the producer, the composer, I mean, the music composer talk about how amazing the Loki theme was is like super super refreshing for me because when people are doing press tours for like releases yung mga movies ganun, they don't get to interview the people behind the scenes. So this week in Marvel is like a really really great way to learn about the people behind the things that we love about MCU. When it comes to news then, super helpful sila kasi I didn't even know that Lego is like releasing um the Loki yeah, the frog Loki. No, alligator Loki. I'm so sorry. I call him a frog. Frog is a Thor. Thor was a frog, and then Loki was the alligator in the Loki TV series. Merong nirelease yung Lego na parang yung mga minifigure nila. Meron silang nirelease na ano, what do you call? Oh my god, I keep forgetting. Meron silang nirelease na alligator Loki, I think. No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, they released the a minifigure a minifigure of Frog Thor. There you go, Frog Thor. And then Funko Pop released the alligator Loki one. And that's just fucking amazing. I didn't even know because I'm not always on social media, you guys, because I'm working. I'm always on my screen working my ass off, and just scrolling through Twitter and stuff. And sadly, I was not following enough like MCU Marvel accounts, so I didn't know. It wasn't until I listened to that specific This Week in Marvel episode na nalaman ko lang na, oh my god, they're releasing this super cute, super amazing collectibles on my favorite Disney Plus show so far, which is Loki. But yeah, now I'm fangirling over this wicked Marvel. And also, every time that they interview someone new, they always ask them, what is your Marvel origin story? It's like super, super, super interesting. Kasi diba kung fan ka, ayun yung mga story about ano talaga yung mga story about how did you become a fan, yung mga super, super, super exciting na ikwento, super magandang pakinggan. So, it was really, really refreshing and super great to hear a bunch of people actually working in Marvel hear that there were once a Marvel fan. They grew up with Marvel. So yun lang parang, wow. Hopefully in the future, I get to work for them too. Hey Marvel, if you guys are listening to this podcast episode, please, please sponsor me, or even better, please hire me. So if any Marvel people are listening to this podcast, I have my LinkedIn up. Just search my name. Oh yeah, my. But no, if you guys are interested with me, please follow me on Instagram, and I will answer back and accept the offer on the spot to work for you guys. Anyway, but yeah. So what is your Marvel origin story? So it's super great, super great. And if you guys are wondering what my kung ano yung Marvel origin story ko, go back to the first episode and I basically talked about it for the whole time. So yeah. So that was my first recommended Marvel podcast for you guys this week in Marvel. My second one, oh my god, this one is one of my ultimate favorite. Marvel's Declassified. Ang dami na namang S. May something ako sa S ko. Marvel's Declassified. Para siya yung, ano no, yung palabas dati sa, sa Nickelodeon ba yun? Yung Ned's Declassified, blah, 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 to school. Yeah, but anyway, Marvel's Declassified is again hosted by This Week in Marvel, Lorraine Sink, and Evan Narcis. I don't know. Wait, ang daming S na naman, guys. Lorraine Sink and Evan Narcis. Yeah, but Marvel's Declassified is about, it's actually a narrative podcast that explores the ever-evolving history of Marvel Comics from a contemporary point of view. So it's super amazing kasi ito talaga yung episode na, I mean, ito yung show talaga na goes like deeper into the characters that we love, to the comics, TV shows that we love, movies that we love. So I know that I did say that it's Marvel Comics, but since most of the episodes naman is talking about popular characters now, such as Iron Man, Hulk, I know Hulk is kind of not. No, we all love Hulk now in the MCU. We all do. The first movie, we don't talk about it. No one ever talks about it, to be honest. Because it's like, oh my god. Anyway, enough with Hulk. But yeah, the first season of Marvel's Declassified is talking about the famous characters that we all know and love, such as Iron Man, Black Panther, Hulk, Spider-Man. Guys, Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man, and they also, yeah, Captain America. Oh my god. One of my favorite episodes on Marvel's Declassified is when they talked about the history of Captain America. And I love how it's, kasi itong, yung Marvel's Declassified, hindi siya yung parang ako lang na nagsasalita. It's very entertaining because they have, parang, para siyang magazine TV show in a podcast version, in a podcast format. And I really loved it because they really take you into that place and then they explain it to you. And then they have experts coming in, which is super cool. Because I think for nanotech, when they had an episode where they talk about the tech with Iron Man and Black Panther in Wakanda, they talked about the tech in those comics, in those characters, in those worlds. It's super amazing to learn where the real world is at when it comes to those kinds of technology. Parang yung nanotech, we're not even close where kung saan yung level ng sophisticated yung ng Iron Man nanosuit in Endgame and Infinity War. So parang, ay, kala ko malapit na tayo dun. I thought I'm gonna be able to buy my own nanosuit. Pero hindi. It's just fun to learn about the deeper dives in these characters and like relating it back to us. Ayun nga, si Captain America. Captain America, we all know he's a soldier. And World War II and Nazis and all that stuff. It's actually it's obviously very real. So, if you guys want to learn about the history of Captain America, nandun sa Marvel's Declassified yung podcast na yon. And yeah, I just love that was, oh my god, guys. They also talked about Spider-Man and the bunch of versions that he got. Para siyang may multiverse. It's funny because when I think of it, when you think of Spider-Man and the multiverse, parang akala lang natin it's like on screen lang. Well, for me, if you're like an MCU fan who's not really into the comics, I really thought that parang parang ano, tawag dito? Parang, oh, I don't think they had that sa comics. I feel like they only did that in the movies. Para lang kunwari, wala lang. Because Spider-Man is the most loved character in the whole Marvel catalog. So it makes sense for them to make a bunch of versions of him. Pero it turns out something like that in real life did happen. So if you guys want to know what the hell I'm talking about, please go to please go to Marvel's Declassified, which is, oh yeah, by the way, the podcasts that I'm talking about are all on Spotify except for, yeah, Marvel's Declassified. Napakinggan ko siya while it was still on Spotify, but then they had to move it to Apple Podcasts. Exclusively lang siya sa Apple Podcasts. Because I think, yeah, they're taking advantage of the new feature on Apple Podcast where you get to have people subscribe to your channel, to your shows. So that's what they're doing. So I think if you guys want to listen to, like, if you guys are using if you guys are using Apple Podcasts and you guys want to listen to a Marvel podcast, you guys will have to pay a monthly subscription, which is, I honestly think that's you're not gonna make me pay for that. Kasi napakinggan ko lang siya ng libre, guys, on Spotify. Which, yes, I do have a Spotify subscription, but then again, isa lang yung subscription na binabayaran ko sa Spotify lang, and then I get access to all of these amazing catalogs and shows and music. Pero yun, I'm just sad that they had to move Marvel Declassified. And yeah, oh my god. They also interviewed George R. R. Martin, yung dude, yung dude sa Game of Thrones. I'm sorry for calling him a dude. I haven't seen Game of Thrones, so I'm so sorry, you guys. But like when I learned about this, that siya actually yung first person to ever enter a Comic Con. It was like super cool. Parang, oh my god. Parang dun ko rin na-realize na, wow, art does inspire people to do great things. Cause look, he's like a super George R. R. Martin is like a super celebrated author, and his work is on like HBO Go, HBO Max, di ba yung Game of Thrones? So super amazing. It's like, oh my god, sana hopefully ako din someday. Wow, libre mga Pero yeah, if you guys, I totally recommend this podcast. If you guys like taking a super deeper dive into Marvel while also reflecting everything that's happening on the comics with their real life and history and all of that. So, amazing show only on Apple Podcasts. Para akong nagpro-promote. Oh my god. Oh my god. And for my last for my last recommendation is actually a podcast drama show. Guys, it's like a drama parang radio drama. Ang daming R. It's a radio drama, and if you guys grew up listening, I think we all listen to a radio, 'di ba? Pag nasa commute ka, pauwi ka from school, ganon. The I I used to hate those nung when I was growing up. Pero machika, friend, para silang parang siyang maalaala mo kaya yung mga nasa radyo dati. Tapos may mga umiiyak, ganon. Pero I used to hate them, but like deep inside, guilty pleasure ko sila. So when I found out that Marvel is also doing like drama podcasts, I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. Am I gonna hate this? Am I gonna love it? But you know what? I'm like super deprived of like Marvel content that I gave it a listen and it did not disappoint. This show is called Marvel's Wastelanders. Ang dami na namang S. Marvel's Wastelanders. Marvel's Wastelanders. So for this show, if you guys parang medyo bago-bago lang. And yes, it is based on the comics. Again, of course, this is Marvel we're talking about. So yung Wastelanders kasi it's about the old versions of the superheroes that we love, but this time the superheroes are dead. Handpicked na lang yung natitirang buhay. And yes, usually ito yung mga human. Yung mga human na wala, hindi sila masyado significant, I'd say. In the Marvel catalog, I'm sorry that I would call them insignificant, but you guys kind of get the point, right? Because if you're Iron Man, they're definitely gonna kill you. Because you're Iron Man. If you're Captain America, they're definitely gonna kill you. So, kasi yung plot kasi, yung nangyayari kasi sa Wastelanders series, yes, series, kasi I think they signed for 5 series under Marvel Wastelanders. Wastelanders is about it takes us to a post-apocalyptic world wherein supervillains teamed up to kill superheroes and seize control of the world 30 years later. So bale, yung mga bad guys, yung mga villains, sila Zemo, si Doctor Doom, they all teamed up to kill all the superheroes. Captain America, Black Panther, Iron Man, who else? The rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy, the rest of Avengers. Spider-Man is dead. The Widows are dead. Who else? A lot of superheroes. Mostly Avengers are the first people to ever die in Wastelanders. And syempre, since wala na yung superhero, wala na magde-defend sa atin, the villains took over of Earth, and meron silang mga sarili ng district na parang si Zemo, kunwari. I think Zemo was in Las Vegas. Tapos, nandun siya. Kingdom yung tawag niya doon sa place niya. Tapos si Doctor Doom is somewhere in the Midwest of US, of America. So, yon. So for Marvel Wastelanders, I did mention that they signed up for 5 seasons. So I think each season had like eight episodes, which comes out weekly, and each episode is an hour long. So for the first season, they had Marvel's Wastelanders, Star-Lord. So yes, si Star-Lord, yung leader na Guardians of the Galaxy, is still alive. Yeah, because he was in space again, right? He was the first season consists of Star-Lord and Rocket. Absolutely love those two. Kasi also for Marvel's Wastelander, hindi mo need na dapat may alam ka sa comics. Kasi then again, at yung mga characters nila is yung mga loved characters na natin from the MCU, which such as the Guardians of the Galaxy, diba, si Star-Lord at saka si Rocket. So they went on an adventure on the Midwest. That's for the first season. And then the second season is with Hawkeye. So we were able to learn more about old man Hawkeye that is actually blind in this season, which is super cool, I guess. Kasi parang since it's a podcast, you're just listening to it, and then yung main character mo is bulag, he can't see. So it's like we're experiencing this episode just like how Clint Barton is experiencing the show, if that makes sense. And yeah, tapos yun na yung first season and the second season. I'm waiting for the season 3 for the third season, which is Wastelanders Black Widow. Yes, you guys heard that right. Buhay si Black Widow for this one. But it's not the Natasha Romanoff that we know. remember, madaming widows galing Red Room. So, it's a different widow. It's a different Black Widow. I think her name is Helen Black. Yeah, her name is Helen Black. So, I tried searching her up, like, who is Helen Black, Marvel Comics, and I didn't see anything. So, I'm interested who this person is. So, yun. And yeah, Marvel's Wastelander is also a great way for me to learn more about the comics. Kasi kung may something ako na hindi alam, I'll just search it up. What does it look like? So it helps me um really confirm yung nai-imagine kong itsura niya. They did a great job of like really bringing you into the scene, which is great because it's parang as someone who is like super reliant on like seeing screens, parang listening to a podcast drama show is is new. It's very new to me. So ayun nga, for Marvel's Wastelanders, they really did a great job of like bringing you into the scene and understanding who everyone is, what's happening, and all of that. I'm not gonna lie, their first season with Old Man Star Lord and Rocket made me cry. I did not even know that I would cry over a podcast. But I did. And like I'm like, wow. That's that that season was amazing. So now season 2 with Hawkeye broke my heart to pieces, you guys. Parang yung story arc ni Hawkeye sa podcast na to is very similar din dun sa Hawkeye na napanood natin sa MCU. From all of the Avengers to to his own show na Hawkeye sa Disney Plus. So, parang the podcast show Marvel's Wastelanders is a very familiar show, but also at the same time you're learning someone new. You're learning someone in something new, which is I think it's a great way to keep this listening to this show is like a great way to keep the Marvel content coming in without having to be like super overwhelmed of the news and everything. Kasi yung first two shows na recommend ko is very newsy and makes you think. Which also made me miss like, oh my god, gusto ko lang yung mismong kwento ng Marvel, ng MCU. So this podcast show is very, very, very refreshing and I love it so much. So please, 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 please listen to this show. I super recommend it if you're into the drama podcast or you're like looking for something new to listen to. This show is amazing. Very amazing. I love it. I super love it. So as I mentioned, they're planning to have 5 seasons. So far they have 3, which is Star Lord, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. The other 2 is going to be Wolverine and Doctor Doom. Yeah, we're gonna have an episode. I mean, we're gonna have a season with one of the villains who killed all the superheroes. So I am super excited to learn more about Doctor Doom, especially na feeling ko they're planning. Yeah, I think they're planning to introduce him into the MCU sometime soon. Soon? I'm not sure when or where in the timeline of the MCU. Pero yeah, I mean in the phases of MCU, I'm not sure where. Pero I just have a feeling that they might introduce Doctor Doom into the future projects. Wolverine. I know Wolverine and the X-Men are also under Marvel, but I was like super young when the X-Men Origins universe was happening. So I didn't really like it was like too mature for me because I was like 5 or something, like 8, 9. Unlike when Iron Man came out. I was like 10, I think. Like nagmamature na ako. Like I'm starting to like appreciate what I'm watching when Iron Man came out. So parang and they're a part of me growing up. So mas inclined talaga ako sa MCU. But it doesn't mean that I'm not excited for Marvel's Wastelanders Wolverine. I hope that I get to revisit X-Men because of that season. But let's see. Right now, I'm still waiting for Black Widow pa naman. So, but yeah, I hope that you guys would listen to the recommendation that I gave. Um, something dropped. But yeah, I hope that you guys would love This Week in Marvel, Marvel's Declassified, and Marvel's Wastelanders. And of course, I'm gonna end the episode right here. Since I mentioned three of my favorite podcasts, I will be linking them down in the description box below so you guys can listen to them right away after I end this podcast. Um, if you guys like this episode, please let me know your comments or thoughts, or please rate this podcast show on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on Google Podcasts. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at the dot Pinoy MCU fan. The dot Pinoy MCU fan. And I am also on Facebook. My Facebook page is called the Pinoy MCU Fan Podcast. So if you guys need help with the links for that as well, I'm gonna put it down on the description box below. And that is it for today's episode. I hope you guys are having an amazing new year. And again, if you guys are gonna watch No Way Home this weekend, please, 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 please stay safe and take your vitamins, drink a lot of meds, cover up, cover your nose, cover your mouth. Don't eat out as much as possible, and enjoy No Way Home. Bye, guys. Bye. See you guys next week.